Good morning from Universal Studios Hollywood. It's a really nice Friday morning today in the theme park. The park just opened like 4 minutes ago. I'm here bright and early to take a look at all of the updates. So let's get rolling. Okay, so we're at the future location of the new security hubs that are getting installed before entering CityWalk, and they got a really early start to this, earlier than I expected. I was expecting this to stay empty for at least like a solid 2 or 3 months, but as you can see, they have already started to rip apart the asphalt that was used for the parking lot. They started removing all of the trees. The Woody Woodpecker sign is still up right over there. That was for oversized vehicles and I think preferred parking. I'm not too sure what this parking lot was used for. I've never even parked here. But as you can see, they are hard at work with ripping this thing to pieces. It's gonna look like this for a while. I think once they remove all the asphalt, they're gonna start pouring in new asphalt. I don't believe they need to do any plumbing in this location, so I don't think we'll see any like major groundwork. They might just be pouring new asphalt, new flooring to match with the CityWalk flooring here. And then eventually, probably by the middle of this year, we'll start seeing the new security terminals get installed. But this is one of 3 or 4 locations that are going to be located outside of CityWalk. So there's going to be one major security hub located here because most people park at Jurassic Parking. This is where the most amount of people are going to be walking in from. But they're also going to have one at the far end of CityWalk, where ET parking structure and Curious George parking structure are located. And once the hotel is eventually constructed, they'll have some smaller security terminals to enter CityWalk, and they'll also have one more security hub by Frankenstein parking, which is near the front of the park. The CityWalk purge is crazy. The sign for Sparky's Donuts has been removed. Kind of sucks. I really liked Sparky's. I never really had the bucket, but they used to give out free samples back in the day. And I loved the taste of that. And also, this is where I would buy my gum. They don't sell gum anywhere else in the park, and this is where I would buy it. And they would sell it for like $1 or something. Right in front of the Wicked store, I just wanted to point out that Universal has been casting for Elphaba and Glinda characters to be walking around the theme park. We're always a little behind with characters. Universal Orlando and Universal Singapore introduced the Wicked characters a while back when the movie first came out. Don't get me wrong, I'm definitely glad we're getting them. So The Weeknd just released his most recent album, Hurry Up Tomorrow, and the most recent Weekend Horror Nights house that we had this previous year was themed to all 3 albums of the trilogy, so After Hours, Dawn FM, and Hurry Up Tomorrow. And now that we have Hurry Up Tomorrow, I'm very curious if The Weeknd could potentially make a return once again this year, since we have more of a story behind Hurry Up Tomorrow. Additionally, The Weeknd is dropping a whole movie for Hurry Up Tomorrow. The movie comes out sometime in May, and I'm looking forward to it. It would be so cool to have The Weeknd once again here at the Universal Park. I think both of the mazes they had for him were phenomenal. This is a really nice early morning for Universal. All 5-minute waits, aside from Mario Kart posted at a 35-minute wait, but that's still not bad. I never understood why they opened this section of the park so late. At 11 a.m., Secret Life of Pets and Despicable Me open up. This year is the year of the snake, and they've already brought in some Lunar New Year merchandise. Even though they don't celebrate it in the park anymore, they still offer merchandise with Hello Kitty over here. They have some really nice mugs, hats, they have some t-shirts as well, and some keychains. And they normally do Lunar New Year merchandise with Kung Fu Panda, but they decided not to do that this year. However, we have a lot of Gabby's Dollhouse merchandise. I wonder how this is performing. I've never really seen it. It's pretty new to me. I think it came out last year. And from time to time, they actually have Gabby from Gabby's Dollhouse come out in the park and walk around. The deconstruction of Hooville continues, but I don't think that the plaza will reopen anytime soon, as FanFest Nights is around the corner, and I feel like they would utilize the plaza in some way for FanFest Nights. The DreamWorks Theater will be closed during FanFest Nights because it'll be used as Jujutsu Kaisen. They're gonna have some sort of live show going on in here at Hooville, as it's closed right now. It's kind of cool. And this is actually a really nice look of the Fast and Furious coaster from here. You can see that some of the brickwork has already been exposed to the public. It's looking really nice. We'll probably see the entire theming of the building within the next month or 2. This morning we have both Shrek and Fiona out. It's always nice to see them. This view of the coaster gets crazier and crazier as every day passes. I just can't believe that literally like 5 months ago, this was nothing. There was hardly anything here. We had like a mini station, a mini platform, and then a second one that went up. And now we have all of this, and it looks incredible. Another look at the theming, which looks incredible. Love the brickwork they did here. It is pretty generic to the Fast and Furious franchise. I thought they would be a little different, a little more unique with what they did with the garage, but they're giving it that classic brick look that they've given to every Fast and Furious iteration they've brought to the Universal parks. I'm sure when everything in the surrounding area is up, it'll fit in with the area. I'm sure they're not just gonna allow it to be some brick box in the middle of the park. Like, I feel like they should find a way to flush it out with Harry Potter World, as it's right across, and when you're exiting Harry Potter World, you would just see this giant brick structure. So hopefully they find a way to flush it out with the rest of the park so it doesn't stand out as this bright red structure. So I'm currently standing outside of the Starway to the lower lot, and you might notice something crazy above the Starway right now. Oh my goodness, look at the track going over the Starway. This is just bonkers. Oh my goodness, this is so cool. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I have seen pictures of this before, and I was sent pictures all of yesterday morning of this track piece that went up overnight. But seeing it in person is just something different. This is so wild to see coaster track over the Starway. And then from under here, it's gonna go into what people are calling the Hollywood roll, and this will make its way to the final brake run at the end of the track. But what is so cool to me is that the track goes so close to the queue. Like, this is like a Velocicoaster move right here. The queue is right under this structure over here. That's one part of the extended queue. And that's the track right there. Look how close you are to people waiting in line. It's definitely a wild sight, and I can't wait to see them testing this roller coaster. But I'm so glad that they're ramping up the placement of all of the pieces of the track. Now, every time they do something major to this project, they notify the neighboring cities and neighbors around the park to let them know what's going on, when to expect loud noise coming from the theme park. Because sound travels very, very easily, especially when you're this high up and so close to everything around you. And recently they notified everyone that this giant crane is gonna get taken down very soon. How soon? Probably by the end of February. Now, this only means one thing. There isn't much track to put up for the rest of this ride, but that means they're probably gonna finish putting up all the pieces of track by the end of February. And I believe the most amount of work that they still have to do is in the back half of this project. As you can see, all of the supports might be up, but there's still some more supports that need to go up. Now, our normal view is closed off right now because those rides don't open till 11 a.m. You can see that they've already started putting up some of the walls for the sound barriers that are going to be located around the track. I think there's a few more supports for this part of the coaster to go up on that side. Once that's up, they can begin putting some track in where they need to be. I'm really excited to see this element come to life. Like, this is a huge element. It might be even taller than what's right behind me. Like, this is crazy, but what we have over there is an inversion. It's not just like a half inversion. And of course, this piece of track right here, this inversion is so crazy. You're probably gonna be going over this so quick, and you're going over other pieces of track. It would be so cool if you like invert over other cars running through the course. Pretty unlikely since there's hardly any block sections through this ride, but I mean, just think of it, that would be crazy. Okay, so this is a pretty great view of those sound barriers that are taking shape right now. They've actually, so when we were here last week, it was just a bunch of rods sticking out of the ground. Now we actually have some supports in between each rod. It's looking pretty good. It's taking shape. I don't know what they're gonna be doing with the sound barrier. Is it gonna be theming? Is it just gonna be a grass wall? We have no idea what it's gonna look like quite yet, but it's taking shape. And I'm surprised they still haven't shared any concept art about this roller coaster. Some welding work going on over there. Awesome. Also, this hillside project has been very quiet as of recently. They haven't really worked on this in, I would say, about a month. But what they have done, they put down some sandbags to prevent some mudslides during the heavy rain we had last week. And that's basically all that they've done. And right where Texas Chainsaw Massacre was located last year for Halloween Horror Nights, they've already started to stage some plywood. This is really exciting. I don't know if this is for Horror Nights necessarily. They might be starting construction in mid-March, maybe early April, but they do have some wood here. It could be used for sets for different productions and sound stages, but it's been here for about a week, so we'll see. We had something similar going on last year too. I think early January they staged some wood here and then it disappeared and then it came back and they used that wood to construct the Horror Nights house. Okay, so I caught this at the corner of my eye, but I feel like no one noticed this. This platform has been made so much larger now. So it looks like the outdoor queue goes indoors from around this part here. But that wraps up today's video here at Universal Studios Hollywood. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I'm JP and that's a wrap.